डॉक्टर बाबा साहेब आंबेडकर ओपन यूनिवर्सिटी.
Hello friends, my name is Dr. Alpaba Rajput, welcoming you all in a Chaitanya studio of Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar Open University. In a last session in 302 subject, we have discussed the block 2 or block 3 unit 2 functions, in which we have discussed basically the function, basic structure of a function, and we have defined the various types of function. The purpose of the function is to execute the block of statement when we wanted to complete a specific task. In today's session, we are all continuing with the function, in which we will discuss some other type of function, as well as we will discuss some of the storage classes. Okay. So, let me start with the other type of function. In other type of function, the first type we are having an inline function. Okay. Inline function will allow the compiler to copy the code from function definition directly into code of calling function. Here, when we are having a very small function which contains only a single statement, in that case is when we are passing the control from the main function to the called function, it consumes a lot time. So, in place of that, we are declaring that function as an inline. So, sorry. So, whenever the execution of the function will be done, the execution of the code will be done at the same place where its calling from the calling of the function is done. Means the execution control flow will not be passed to the function definition. Okay. તો અહીંયા calling function ના place ઉપર જ function નું execution થઈ જાય છે. So, it saves the memory as well as the time. So, instead of developing the individual group of instruction memory માં જ્યારે control flow થાય on the function, so it creates the individual group of instruction in a memory. So, we are saving the memory by declaring the function as an inline whenever we are having the small function. Okay. Rather than transferring the control, here what happen, the function code segment will be directly done in the calling function. Okay. So, an altered copy of function is put directly for a function call. Okay. A function is declared inline by using two ways. Either we can use the inline specifier. Before the function, we can write the inline is a specifier to define any function as an inline function, or we are having the second way is a defining the member function in a class or a structured definition. Directly in a main function or in a member function, we are directly writing the definition of a function. So, it will be executed at that place directly. We do not have need to write the separate code for the function. Okay. So, basically whenever we are using the first way, when we are defining the specifier for defining the inline function, what define we are at the function JB hoy, before that function we are writing the specifier inline. This function is having the return type integer which contains the two integer value, and simply it contains only one statement, which is simply return the summation of a two arguments. So, whenever we are having this kind of small function, in place of passing the control from here to the there, from calling function to the called function, we are simply declaring, we are defining that function as an inline. So, that અહીંયાથી ત્યાં જે ફ્લો જવાનો આપણો જે memory execution and time consume થાય છે, that will not be memory consume થાય છે, that will not be done. Okay. The syntax for the inline function we have seen, the inline specifier, the return type of the function, function name, parameter, and the function body. Simple example we have seen for the function. Okay. inline function does not work. We are having some limitation when we are not define a function as an inline. In a case when a function it contains any loop, if a function contains any loop, in that cases we can't declare that function as an inline. If a function contain a static variable, in that case also we can't use the function as an inline, because static variable is having the global scope, right. That is why if a function is recursive, if the function is calling itself, in that cases also we can't call the function as an inline. If a function return type is other than the void, means the function is having some return type and the return statement does not exist in the function body. If the function not contains the return type, though it is having some return type and it is not returning any value, so in that cases the function cannot be defined as an inline. And the last one, if the function contain any kind of switch or go to statement, that kind of jumping statement, if it is using like go to or it using some kind of switch cases, then in that cases we can't define the function as an inline. So simply we are having the very less set of instruction to execute, that function will be declared as an inline. Okay. The second type of other function type is nested function. Nested, earlier in a control statement we have seen nested if, when we are having the if within a if. The same way nested function means when we are having the function within a function, means the any other function is calling some any other function, any body ની અંદર બીજા કોઈ function ને call કરતું હોય, is called the function nested function. So to call a function inside another function call is called the nesting of function. Let me see an example of this. We are having the max function which are having the return type integer, having 2 argument integer type, which return the simply if x is greater than y, then it will return the x, otherwise y. We have used the ternary operator here to define the condition and giving some output on the base of the condition, right. So here in a main function, from a main function we are calling this function, though it is having the return type, and that is why we can define is an expression. Here in expression you can see a function max we are calling, but as an argument of the function we are again calling the function. So here we are calling the function another function, here we are using the same function, but it is called the function calling some other function, and that is why it is called the nested of function. Okay. So here multiple times we are calling the max function from the max, right. So here this is the main max function, as an argument of this we are passing the maximum again, and here also the third times the max function is called. So has a 2 argument, we are passing the function again, so we are calling the function. So here the function within a function call the other function, that is called the nested of function. Okay. So here it will identify the maximum value, from here we can identify the maximum value 11, from here we can identify the maximum value 10, and from here 4 to 11, 11 is the maximum, 11 and 10 it will compare at the end, and it will identify the maximum value among them. Okay. So this is called the nested of function. Now as I told you, a function call another function within a function, calling function, so it is called what? A nested of function. The same way, if the function call itself is called the concept of recursion. Here the function is not calling other function. In an earlier example we are calling the same function from the function, but when we wanted to call the function itself from the function, and it is called the recursion. Okay. So while using the recursion, programmers need to be careful to define an exit condition through which the person, the program code can identify the exit of the completion of a recursion calling the function. otherwise it will go for the infinite loop. Okay, let me see actual example of this. So basically recursion will be used to identify certain cases when we wanted to find the factorial of a number, or we wanted to identify the Fibonacci number. So in place of calling the function again and again, we can use the concept of recursion, through which આપણું જે execution છે will be faster. Okay. So see the simplest example of finding the factorial of a given number. Okay. So here in a main function we are having some value I equal to 5. We wanted to identify the factorial of a I, means 5. So here what we are doing, we are calling the function factorial I. Okay. So here the flow will be go here. It will identify if the value of argument is lesser than the 1, means when the 5 to 1 comes, then we have need to, it will return a 1, means the completion. This condition is nothing but defining the termination of a recursion. So the again and again calling of the function will be terminated. Okay. And here as a return statement, it will define I multiplied by, again it's called the function factorial. So again and again the flow will be gone from here to here till the specific condition not getting true, and whenever the flow will reached at the value I value will be reached at the 1, it will return the statement control flow to the main program. So we must define some termination condition to terminate the recursion of function calling itself to end. Okay. Now the main concept of parameter passing, the argument that we are passing in a function, that can be passed in a two ways, a call by value and a call by reference. Okay. Let me see what is it. This is the way how we are passing the argument in a function. If we go with a passing of argument by value, so in that cases while passing the parameter using a call by value, what happened, the Xerox copy of the original parameter is created and it will pass to the called function. Here the Xerox copy of the original argument is passed, not the actual argument value. Okay. So any update made inside the method, જે બી calling method છે એની અંદર any updation on a argument will be done, will not affect the original value of a variable in a calling function. It means from where you are calling the function, a calling function time, whatever the variable value you are passing, a variable copy will be passed in a called function, not the original value. So what if within execution of that function, if you do any changes in that argument, will not reflect the original value of a calling function argument value. Okay. See the example, we are having the interchange function which contains the two variable. Okay. And what it do, it will simply assigning the number 1 to number, swapping of the value કરી રહી છે, assigning the value to the other. The type of a function is void. Okay. Now what happens when the call by value is called? Okay. So here we are having the integer num equal to 50 and num2 is equal to 70. Okay. We are using calling the function interchange, though it's not having the return value, we are not defining it is an expression, it is an individual statement. Interchange, we are passing the two variable num1 and num2. Okay. Okay. Now see the simplest example of this. When we are passing the call by value, here we are having the function interchange in which we are having the two argument number 1 and number 2 of integer type, and it will simply do what, the swapping of the both the number. Okay. So Okay. Now let us see this with an example. Here we are having the interchange function which having the no return value. So, it is having the type void. It contains the two variable. The execution, in a execution what it simply do, it will just swapping the values of the both the number. Okay. So, number 1 will be assigned to number 2 and number 2 will be assigned with a value of number 1. Now, in a main program what happen, we are having the number 1 as a 50, number 2 as a 70. So, at the end what we wanted to do, number 1 is equal to 20 and number 2 is equal to 50 assign करवानु છે. So, here we are calling the function, though it is not having the return type, it is an individual statement. Here we are passing the num1 and num2. Here when we are passing the num and num2, we are actually passing the value, argument value Xerox, not the actual argument. Okay. So, whatever the modification we are doing, where we are assigning the 2 to 1 and 1 to 2, it will not reflect the original value of a argument num1 and num2. Num1 and num2 will remain the 50 and 70. Okay. So, whenever you are passing again the number 1 and number 2, num1 and num2, it will print the 50 and a 70. Okay. So, the whatever the changes are there will not reflect the original value of a number. Okay. Now, if we are going for the by calling by reference, means when whatever the argument we are passing, at the calling time we are using the reference of a variable or a pointer. In that case is what happened, it addresses the scheme directly. So, we are passing the actual address of the variable to the called function, because we are calling the function by the reference. So, we are passing the actual address of the argument, and if we are passing the actual address, whatever the updates made inside the call function will directly modify the original copy of a argument. So, here we are directly passing the argument address, and whatever the modification will be done on that argument will reflect the original value of a argument. Let me see this with an example. We are having the same function integer and having no return type, but here as an argument we are passing the reference. We are doing the changes in the, we are doing the swapping of the value. We are passing the same values. Here we are passing the address of an argument. So, it will directly point to the address, and whatever the changes will be done, that will reflect the original value of a number. So, here if when we are just printing the value, here when we are going to print the value, it will directly print the whatever the changes will be done, that will be printed. So, at the end number will be returned as a number 1 will be 70 in place of 50 and number 2 will be 50 in place of 70. So, original argument will be modified. Okay. Now, the scope of a variable may have the local scope as well as global scope. Okay. The variable which are defined at the starting before the main is having always the global scope, means throughout the whole program the variable will be accessible. Okay. So, it is having the global scope. Any variable which is defined under the opening and a closing brace is having the local scope within that branch. Means here we are having the integer number 1 is as a 6, here we are having the integer number 1 is a 1. If we are here we are printing the number 1, then it will print the 6, because the scope of this variable is till this closing brace. So, it will print the value of this initialized value of number 1. એ સ્કોપની બહાર જ્યારે આપણે આવશું, સપોઝ વી આર કોલિંગ સમ ફંક્શન એન્ડ ફ્રોમ ધેર ઇફ વી આર કોલિંગ ધ num1, we are printing the num1, then it will print the value of a global variable, because the scope of this variable is still the closing brass. Closing brass ની બહાર એ automatically કોઈ બી global variable will be accessible, but the local variable is having the scope till the initialization to the closing brass. Okay. Now the next concept that we are going to discuss is a storage classes. Various storage classes are there in a C. The purpose of the storage class is to explain about the lifetime of a variable. Means what is the scope of a variable. The storage class also determines the variable storage location. It will define a memory ની અંદર it will be stored or it will be stored in a register. So it defines as the storage location of a variable. It defines the scope of a variable. What is the visibility of a variable within a file, outside the file, or in some another file. Okay. So and it also defines the initial value of the variable. Means whenever we are declaring the variable, what will be the initial value of a variable. This is also the same for in a context of a function also. Okay. Basically we are having the 4 storage classes: auto, register, static and external. Let me see each one by one. Auto. A default storage class for all the local variable is auto. Any local variable we are defining is having the specifier auto. Okay. All the variable defined within a function or a block by default belongs to automatic storage class if no storage class is mentioned. Whether we are defining the auto or not, it will be a automatic storage class. Okay. So variables having the automatic storage class are local to the block which they are defined in and get destroyed on exit from the block. Whenever the closing brass will become, in an earlier example we have seen, the scope of that variable will be finished. Okay. The syntax for defining any, let's see with an example. Suppose we are having the integer month, we wanted to declare is in a local variable, then we are simply defining auto. Whether we mention auto or not, if we are not mentioning the auto specifier, even though it will be work as a local variable. Okay. So auto is defining all the kind of local variable. See the examples. We are having the integer I. The scope of this variable is local, and local means opening to closing brass સુધી no. Okay. So here we are having the another auto integer I equal to 2. Here we are having the integer I equal to 3. So see here when we are printing the value of I, the value of 3 will be printed at the outside of this brass. The scope of this variable is finished. Okay, terminated, and when we came over here, it will print the value of 2. So at the out of this brass, the scope of this variable is finished, and we are going, when we print this value, it will print the value of this. Okay. So the auto specified or variable જે બી હોય સ્પેસિફાય કરેલું હોય, specify auto, it means it having the local scope within a brass. Okay. The second storage class is a register. Okay. The difference is this type of storage class will describe about the local variable which is kept in a register rather than storing it in a memory. On basis of this defines the local variable, but it point towards the variables which are stored in a register in place of a memory. Okay. So the variable has a maximum size which is similar to register size with no unary AND operator applied to it. Means we can define the address of it because it is not stored in a memory. The syntax is we are simply specifying the register specifier in front of any variable. So it will be considered as a register variable. Okay. Then we are having the static control storage class. Sorry, we are having the static storage class. In a static storage class, it will instruct the compiler to keep a local variable in existence during the lifetime of a program instead of creating and destroying it each time it comes into and goes out of the scope. Okay. So, static variables it will define the existence of a variable to the lifetime of a program, instead of again and again creating and destroying it through the whole program. It defines the existence of a variable. When the static is used on a global variable, it is cause only one copy of that member to be shared by all the objects of class. Means in a C++, whenever we are defining any variable as a static all over the class in a specific class, then all the object of that class can access that variable. Okay. The syntax for the static are simply we are using the static specifier through which we can identify the values. Okay. The simplest example we are having some function and we are having the variable with the static which having the global variable, because he have declared over here. Okay. In a main function the count is called, we are calling the static function, though here we haven't declared or we haven't passed the count as an argument, though the function is having the accessibility of a count over here. Okay. So, static variable globally declare થાય તો કોઈ બી throughout the whole programming, the full code હોય no કોઈ બી function can call that static variable. Okay. So, here count can be accessible outside by the outside function. Okay. Main program સિવાયના function એને call કરી શકે છે. Now, the last one storage class is an external storage class, is used to give a reference of a global variable that is visible to all the program files. Means એક file થી બીજી file ની અંદર બી તમે access કરી શકો છો આ ટાઈપના variable. When you use the external, the variable cannot be initialized. However, it points the variable name at a storage location that has been previously defined. Whenever you declare any variable as function as an external, so you can't initialize it, but it will directly focus. You will just point the variable or a function name that the storage location that have been already defined. Okay. The syntax for the external is simply we are defining the external class for the variable, same we can use for the function. This is the simple example. The difference of an external is, if we are declaring any variable or any function as an external, it is accessible outside the file. So, suppose we are having the first file with some name, we are having the second file. Using by declaring any, here we are having the external void write external. We are having one function which is declared and an external. So, it will point that specific function, right? And here we are having count 5 and we are calling the some function. This function is actually resides in another file, and by declaring that specific function as an external, we are having the privileges to call that function into this file, but the importance is both the files should be in a same folder. Okay. So, here from the second file, whenever the execution will be done, the flow will be go to the second file, it will execute this block of code and will print the values. Okay. Here you can see in this file we have used external integer count, which is a external variable, and we can see you have used this external variable in this. You didn't have need to initialize it. Here you have already defined it as an external, so you can use into the another file. Okay. So, you are using count equal to 5 and that is accessible. Okay. So, in this way external variable and a function can be called in another file. Okay. So, these are the storage classes. Thank you very much.